Hey there, sports fans. Welcome back. It's another episode of Dinner with the Captain. I'm John Dinner here with Captain Steve Priolo, captain of your 3-1 Buffalo Bandits. Happy New Year, Cap.
Happy New Year, buddy.
All right, welcome back. And so this episode number 3 on the season, is brought to you by our friends at Signature Lacrosse, helping to spread the game that we love around all of North America. They're based out of Florida, and they're creeping up in here into Canada and selling their gear, and they're supporting us, so you should go support them. It's great stuff. Lots to talk about since we last got together.
Yeah, man. Tucker out lymphoma night against who did we just play? Las Vegas.
Well, and I mean, so much to talk about, right? You got Vegas with Kluch and Fraser coming back, and then, of course, like you said, always a special night, the Tucker Cup, first game of the Tucker Cup, which is, I think, growing in stature, and certainly brought out, I think, the best in everybody on Saturday night. Certainly brought out a full house, another sellout in Bandit Land, and again, you guys are showing up and showing out, and it's fantastic for the sport and for everybody else. So, I mean, maybe that's where we start. I mean, we have another game to cover. You guys traveled out to Calgary over the holidays as well. But let's start with the most recent, and then we'll see how much time we've got left. But the Tucker out night, I know it's a big one for you.
Yeah, it's. I was just thinking about what you just said. We didn't do one after the Calgary game, did we?
We didn't know.
So we got 2 games to talk about.
Yeah.
Holy moly, we're gonna be here forever. But yeah, man, the Tucker out lymphoma night. It's always an emotional one. It was really cool seeing Sean come out and drop that the ceremonial face off and the teams coming together, and it's really, I love that it's become its own thing, and it's become a fundraiser for sick kids. As much as it is a sad, emotional day for myself, I think the more around it is that it's helping a lot more kids, and it's helping more than it's just a sad day for us. And it's always nice to think of Tucker. You think about him every day, and you think about the times you had with him, and you think about the Williams family and what they went through. But you also think about the game of lacrosse, and you think about helping others and moving forward and growing it into what is now the Tucker Cup. And it's only going to snowball from here and get bigger and bigger.
Getting bigger and bigger. And I mean, the Williams is such a big family of lacrosse in Southern Ontario, and to see the game now growing and having his brother play in Oshawa and the new team there. And it's just lots of excitement that surrounds the game of lacrosse, and then what Tucker's legacy has meant to the game and meant to the league is really, really outsized for who he was when you think about being a 9-year-old dude. And it's pretty exciting. And I know it doesn't get old for you guys, but let's talk a little bit about the preparation for a day like that. It's not just any other game.
Yeah, it used to be. Sean used to, before he was coaching, he used to come into our change room and talk about Tucker and what it was like and where it all came from, and where the saying "braver than brave" came from. The nurses were talking to Tucker, and as he was going through all his chemo and everything he was going through, they were saying, "Dude, you're being braver than brave," and they took that and then that's how they started this foundation with the help of obviously Scott Loeffler and the Buffalo Bandits and raising the money that goes to that foundation, which helps not only it helps sick kids, and it helps it kind of partners alongside with the Ronald McDonald Foundation, where it helps like families and what you're going through. It's like during those times you don't need to worry about anything else. You shouldn't have to worry about who's gonna make your food, or where your money's gonna come from, or if you have to go to work on you should spend
where
time
to stay near the hospital.
Where to stay. It's like be with your family, be with each other, and that's sort of what this has become. And yeah, if you ever get a chance to donate to a foundation, obviously where my heart is, choose that one.
Well, and I mean, it goes so hand in hand. And I know team sports, it's all team sports and their families, but there's just something about lacrosse and the lacrosse family, right? Especially as this game explodes, you see those families getting tighter and tighter and looking after each other like never before.
Crazy. You're starting on a heavy heart here.
Yeah,
holy moly.
Well, and so then it goes in, and now you're playing the Desert Dogs, and obviously Coach Williams, as that's the connection there, and that's what's brought Las Vegas into the mix. But then you got 2 of your brothers lining up across from you, and I mean they're bringing I would imagine some of the importance of this game and what it meant in the Bandit locker room down to some of these younger guys that only know of it through coaches. So, I mean, I guess talk about what it means to play against two guys that you've gone to war with for the last number of years, and certainly for those 3 championships, they were a big part of things, and now seeing them lined up across the way.
Man, I can't imagine what the emotions those two must have had coming back to Buffalo, right? On Tucker night, you know, with Sean Williams as your coach, and you're coming in, and it's your first day back in Buffalo, a team that, you know, you've been with, obviously not Kluche from the beginning, but Chase, like, and won 3 in a row with, and the more importantly is that we lost together in 2022, right? Like, we've gone through ups and downs, we've overcome, you know, conflicts, and yeah, we've been through a lot together, right? So, like, I'm always going to be super grateful for the time I had with them, and it was really fun battling against them, and I hope that they feel that I gave them my all, because that's all I want out of those situations is, like, I want them to come out of it and be like, man, that's what Steve's been doing to other teams all these years, right? And it's like, you know, I didn't take any penalties, and, you know, maybe I could have got called for 1 or 2, but every shift somebody can get called for a hold or a penalty or something. But yeah, we just played hard, and it was really great seeing them. You know, we weren't like laughing with each other out there, but you could see the looks and the clamps, and, you know, Chris obviously got 4 on us, right? But there was times that we got the better of him, taking the ball away from him at center, and that turnover, and then the one at the end of half where we got the ball from him. So just the emotions those two must have been going through, man. Like, oh, I can't imagine.
Fraser fired it right through the net.
Dude, that was on me. I was on my wrong side. I was covering Fraser, and he's coming down the lane, and I know he's a threat. He's a threat on the drag and shoot, right? But I thought that was less of a threat than him to the drag and try to tuck it and go underneath. And the pick was coming from my left. So I was getting ready to absorb that pick, thinking that he was either going to sweep over or sweep under, and he just rifled it. And I was like, oh my God. I looked back and the ball wasn't in the net, but the net was like flailing. I'm like, that's going to be on every highlight for I'm like, I can't open social for a while.
He only scores highlight reel goals, and that was one of them. I mean, it kind of had everybody on the broadcast a little aghast and like wasn't sure if it actually had gone in, because again, the ball didn't seem to slow down much. It was just out there, dude, bouncing around. And
give that guy an inch and he'll put it through the net.
It's really quite something.
But on another hand, is like, you know, I thought when Chase is gone that maybe the highlight reel goals might stop, but like then you have Ian McKay coming out from behind the net and like that, like Chase Fraser style goal where he throws it like over his left shoulder and just through the goalie's legs, and I was like, man, that was awesome too.
And a natural hat trick for Ian on that one too, like to go 3 in a row and sort of put the stamp on the game, so to speak. It was a little bit back and forth in the middle. And so again, on a night like this, you guys are doing ceremonial face-offs, and it's really important, and it's big, and it's emotional. I mean, how do you, like, your last home game was you were putting up the banner, and
oh no, we lost to Halifax our last home game.
Well, but the banner was up, right?
Oh yeah.
And so you're doing all these things before games, and then now all of a sudden it's like, okay, let's go play lacrosse. Like,
I know, but it's almost easier sometimes because it's like, you have so much passion built up in you, right? There's no like, you're not thinking about anything else. There's no distractions on those days. It's like it might seem like a distraction, but like to come together before the game like that and be like, oh yeah, like now it's time to go out here and try to do something that's really difficult for both sides. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's like,
it crystallizes something.
I find it easier to play against people I know than people I don't know for some reason.
Sure.
Like it's not like it's weird. It's because it's like I see them all the time. I want them to think I'm good at lacrosse, right? And because I'm going to see them later, and I want them to be like, "Oh man, Steve, you really played well," right? So it's like easy to get up for each other for those games. It's, you know, it's almost harder sometimes when you have no idea who a guy is or where he's going or what he's doing. You play super tentatively, and it's like you know, I've practiced against Chris so many times that it's like I felt like I could be more aggressive. I felt like I could attack more. I felt like I knew he wants to spin pick a lot of the times, like, you know, with a guy like Mitch Jones on their team who's a really good shooter. Obviously Chris is too, but when Kluche comes in, he likes to do this like spin pick to the middle. So it looks like he's going to set a down seal, and then he spins and tries to get your top shoulder. And then that'll pin you down so you can't switch, and then someone like Mitch Jones can swing over top. like we knew that going into it, right? So we tried to like mitigate that with what we like to do as a gap, where basically step back and then the guy playing Mitch can just stay on Mitch. But yeah, so I don't know. It's so like,
does Mitch's goals early in the game, that's what opens it up for Kluch there at the end? Because I mean, he did go for that little run, scoring 3 in the third.
Yeah,
or fourth, excuse me.
It's hard to say. I got to go back. I haven't seen all the goals yet of theirs, but it's like I know miscommunications by us. So leaving guys literally just open in front of the net or just open, and then those gaps where they want to shoot. So like the one with Chase, or sometimes Chris was carrying the ball and getting over top and getting all the way to the net, and it's like we need to be able to close these gaps on these guys, because it becomes too easy. Like a lot of times with our defense, it's just about making Vino comfortable. So he doesn't like when guys are stepping down to just rifle the ball. Like that's not a comfortable place for him, right? Obviously, he's not comfortable with guys going across the net and certain things, but he is comfortable from certain spots. So we got to push those guys to those areas where they think they have a good look, but it's really the look we want to give up.
Right.
We weren't doing that with this team in the fourth. We did it for 3 quarters, really. Like,
and so what do you attribute that to? I mean, some of it is them continuing to try to get to their spot, so to speak. But I mean, you guys were up big.
Yeah.
And again, in another emotional game, it's kind of easy to take the foot off the gas pedal.
We've talked about this before on this podcast. Like, as much as you want to say, like, lock in, stay focused, like,
the moment you say that,
so hard, man. You're up, like, I don't know what we were up, but we were up
6.
Yeah, something like that. And then, they just get one after another, and you're just going like, okay, how do we stop the bleeding? And then they get another one. You go, oh my God, offense, bail us out. Please score 1 goal so we can like reset.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
really.
And I saw heavyweight player of the game goes to the milkman, Colin. I mean, he had like 2 really big draws there at the end that won, right? And sort of sealed it, because you guys scored on one and then were able to hold on to the ball and sort of killed the clock.
Dude, he played so great. Like those clutch. I knew off the first face-off when he won that first one straight back to me, and we went up and I think there was a nice shot by Dane down the lane, and then DeHoka on a second chance when he's so good at that, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
He's so good at like those second chances, that second effort and things. Just those loose balls, get it and just across the net. Like, good luck, goalie.
Yeah. Wow.
But that was a big goal to start the game, right? Yeah. And it comes from Farrell winning the draw. So yeah, kudos to him. And
against the guy that was coming in is that, I mean, it's short sample size, but the top draw guy in the league, they call him the Hammer.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I think won majority of the draws. And, really controlled the game, and so that was it was big. And again, big thing in sort of stemming that tide that was coming in the fourth quarter.
Did you see Mitch Desnew get hurt?
I actually didn't. So I mean, that's another thing to talk about for the fourth quarter, because you're down Snoozy, and then this Belter goes down.
Belter's down, so we're down to 7D.
And so, I mean, guys are gassed.
I thought so, but we did talk about it after with Weiser. Him and I were like, man, I wasn't gassed. I was just like unfocused or something. Yep. There was some weird thing where it was like, it wasn't like we were playing passive. We needed to get back out on their hands, because they were just rifling the ball past us. Like all their shots were just step down shots and looks. But yeah, Snoozy going down in the first, really, he's been playing so good. So much energy. And I went back and watched it, man. I watched the thing, and it's like, I don't know what to say right now, but like it could be thought that was intentional.
Yeah.
The ball wasn't there, and he kind of dove at I think it was intentional. I don't know if his intent was to hurt him, but his intention was to hit him.
Just take him out.
Yeah. Because the ball was to the left and he went to the right as Mitch was coming in. And I'm like, I hope the league reviews that or does something. And
do we have a sense on to the extent of the injury at this point?
Yeah, it's not as bad as it could have been, but
because he's been dealing with lower body injuries,
he'll be out for a bit, but I'm hopeful. I've been texting with him a bit, and it's like I'm hopeful that he'll be back pretty soon.
And what does that do for the bench? Because I think your initial reaction when you're watching it on the bench and stuff like that is you're now kind of a little bit out for blood, but then you're also like, oh my God, that's one of our guys. Like,
but dude, no one really saw it.
Okay,
like I think that's what happened, or else like we're kind of talking like maybe somebody should have went and grabbed Hammer Jackson or at least talked to him or done something, and like. Because like for me, I was sitting on the bench at that point, because it was a whatever happened, but it was like off a face-off, and I was just trying to catch my breath. You know, I don't need to necessarily watch the face-offs, and it's like, it wasn't until like a couple shifts later, I'm like, where in the hell is Snoozy? And then it was
sure.
like, oh, he's down. And I was like, oh, fuck. Oh, well, like,
I
hope
guess
he comes
okay.
back.
Yeah.
Like, but then you find out more information later. And then, but yeah, I don't know, man. I wish him the best.
Is that also like part of sort of just the game and how it goes? Is you guys are dialed in so much on what you need to do that you're not necessarily seeing when maybe a guy's taking a couple shifts off because there's an equipment issue, or
you can't think of it, man. Honestly, you don't. You come off and you go again, and it's like I thought about it for like a split second, and I don't let those thoughts creep into my mind. It's just like, I don't care if we're down to fucking 3 defensemen. Like, just keep going, go, because you have to, and then you deal with it later, because there's no like the game's not going to wait for you to sort out what am I going to do, hold his hand? It's
and that is what the coaches are for, right? They're the ones doing the thing, and you guys are the ones executing.
Exactly. But yeah, it was, I don't know, like, it must have played into it a bit, but I didn't feel tired at all. Like, it felt like a really choppy game again. Like, I don't know, man.
Well, and to be honest, like it from the television, and I don't know if it was just because they were, maybe they're working with the sound and whatever else, but it felt like it was a quiet game. Yeah,
but as opposed to the Calgary game, which I thought was like action-packed, like nonstop, like it was like go, go, go. Man, it was probably one of the more fun games I've played of lacrosse, and it was just because there was such a good flow to it. There was no bullshit calls. There was nothing that just like questionables. There was no flags. There was like the ball was in or it wasn't. Like, it just kept going. There was a shift where Tanner Cook and I, he's like my height and heavier than me, and like we just went like body to body the whole shift, man. Just bam, bam, like pushing each other, moving each other, like hitting, and it was just such an aggressive shift. And there was loose balls, and we got it and came out. And I saw I was talking to the ref at one of the breaks, and he's like, "Man, that shift you and Tanner had," he goes, "That was the funnest lacrosse I've seen in a long time." From a referee. Yeah. He's like, "That was awesome. You guys played. You were super clean. You were battling each other and going hard and fighting for positions, and it was just just what lacrosse should be." And I loved hearing that. I actually don't know who that ref was. I've never seen him before, but it was I loved hearing that, and it felt fun to me, even though like at the end of the game my shoulders are all sore, everything's sore tired and whatever. But I gotta fly, and then I gotta fun, man. Yeah. It was so fun, and that's why it was like the game against Vegas. Like, it was fun because we were winning for a while, but like everybody was saying in the change room, like, I've never had a win feel like a loss so much in my life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we won obviously by 2 goals, but kind of felt like a loss, which is okay, because then now we can focus back in and dial
Losing
in.
Teaches, right? And it crystallizes things. But yeah. And so what do you think that was? Is it the run? Is it your guys' energy level and execution? Like what?
To me, it's the run. It's not stopping the run. It's like, oh man, what if it was a tighter game and they went on a run?
Yeah. Or if they'd had 4 more minutes.
Exactly. So the run is what did it for me. But man, kudos to our offense too. Like, they played so smart and so good. They read their defense. They're trying to push these guys down the wall, and Bucky, what did he get, 4 goals or something like that too? Well,
and what was one of the great stats they said after the game is every single forward or every single offensive player on the Bandits got a point. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So it's just a balanced attack, and that's
what I think we were missing after that Halifax game was I call it secondary scoring, but any one of our offensive guys can be a number 1 on any team. Right. But with our team, we know it's Josh and Dane. Yeah. Right. The ball's going to run through those guys left and right. And, but those next guys, like, not that we needed them to step up, but we needed them to score. Yep. So now it's like,
and just finish. And you talked about it, right? You guys had a number of chances on transition in that game and just didn't bury them when.
So Mickey and Bucky and Dahoka and Scanlon, like, these guys scoring, like, they're talented enough to score. We just needed them to score, and they did. Now you look, we put up 15 or something like that, right? So beautiful.
Yeah, it was great, man, and it was highly entertaining. And so that was game 1 of the Tucker Cup, and so Vegas will play Oshawa, and then you guys got Oshawa, I think, is the last game of the season, which will be fitting this year. A nice little something to play for, hopefully with the playoff spot all wrapped up. But we are 4 games into the 6-game segment, 3-1. You got that win in Calgary that we've just sort of briefly mentioned, but maybe that's a chance to sort of take a step back and talk about the holidays, because it's not much of a holiday holiday for you and your cars. You guys, I don't know, you guys earning points on that 400 series somehow?
Oh my gosh, not at all.
But so just so everybody knows, obviously, like Steve's working here full-time faculty up here at Rosseau Lake College, and then obviously playing captain of the World Championship Buffalo Bandits, and all the things that sort of come into play with all of that. And so, yeah, you got a couple of week holiday. I got to go down to sunny Jamaica and sit on a beach and relax and kick my feet up. And you got in the car and you drove. You had to practice before Calgary, then you had to come back up and then drive back down to get on a plane to fly out to Calgary to come back to drive up here. You guys are building a house up here.
Yeah, man.
Then, I mean, obviously Christmas, and it's great to be with family and stuff like that, but it's busy. And then another practice and another game. And before you know it, your 16 days of a holiday are gone.
We're back at work tomorrow.
We're back at work today. This is we record this, so we try to on Mondays at the end of another busy day and a good start to the week. And here we are on a Monday afternoon, and getting ready to welcome back the students and all of that. Like, again, where do you find time to rest?
Well, I think I rested on the 1st. January 1st.
I think I had a few hours on the 26th.
Yeah, my family wanted to go skiing, but I kind of did the plea of like, can I just not do anything for a day? Because it was okay. Like,
and this isn't complaints.
No,
this is reality.
But its reality is like my life choices of wanting to be up here come with a lot of benefits. So one of those benefits is it was -10 for a couple days in a row, and then one night it was -30 and the lake froze over, and then my whole family was up and we went out and played hockey on the lake. Like,
amazing.
And with those freezes like that, like Jackie calls them bug out days, like drop what you're doing and go skate on the lake, because it's only going to be like this for one day, where it's just super flat and glass and beautiful. And it's like I live in a place where that is a benefit, right? It snowed in November, and it's been here since. Like, the trees are beautiful, the lake's here, it's very quiet. I love when the snow's out right now, because everything just gets really quiet, right? Yeah. It's beautiful, and very fortunate to have this. But I live 4 hours away from Buffalo.
Yeah.
So like, I have to.
But you're not even the guy that lives the furthest away.
Well, no, Cam Wires lives in Ottawa, but he flies everywhere, doesn't come to practice. I still make it to practice.
Yeah.
But it's like, when it gets like these winter months, like the snow and everything, just it wears on you, where it's normally, it's a, if we're practicing down in Brampton, it's a 2.5 hour drive. It's now taking me a little over 3 hours, because now it's all the snow accumulation, right? And it's like the travel from Calgary is just delay after delay, and now we're circling in the air because they have to clear the runway of snow, and it's like you don't get home till late Sunday instead of midday Sunday, and you're like, those are the hours that add up, the unexpected hours, right? So it's important that I find time to rest, like rest my mind, rest my body. Even if it's like stretching and working out, like it's still a chance of just not leaving the campus, not leaving my house. Like, it's just time here and not in the vehicle is important to find. So yeah, I think like 25th, 26th, and the 1st I had where I was able to like not get in a vehicle and drive more than 2 hours somewhere.
But it is, I mean, it is the cost. And so, I mean, what are the things that you then do to sort of mitigate that time? I mean, you talked about stretching and stuff like that. Like, are you doing anything else that sort of, obviously I think you're probably doing a lot of different things than when you were 19, 20 coming into the league, and now that you're a grizzled vet, you're doing different things, but like anything specific to the travel that you have to put yourself through?
There's what you're supposed to do, and there's what you do. Yeah. Right. Like, a big thing for me is, I should go through our whole Bandits warm up the day after a practice, but it's because your hips just get locked up, I find, just sitting in a car the whole time or on a plane or whatever. So it's like that next day is like, even if I just do our dynamic warm up, it just sets the tone for the rest of the week, just to like loosen everything up. Now there's that, and then there's also like, well, you teach in the morning and then you have to go and do all these things, so it might not happen till that night or even the next day. But yeah, like we have the Normatex, those like poofy pants that just like compression pants, like, a little bit of downtime, just jump in those and massaging and rolling out and all that stuff is like just staying on top of it, because the more you get behind it, the harder it is to come back, right? You can feel these knots and things that end up in your hamstrings and your hips and your glutes, and it's like working them out is painful, and it's like the more you wait on it, the more painful it's going to be when you have to get it done. But at the same time, we have a great staff at in Buffalo where like a lot of times they'll take care of that for us. So you just lay there and they'll just massage it all out of you and work on you. So
do you work that into your travel schedule to like get down there a little bit early to get a bit of a more of a stretcher and those kinds of things? Because I'm thinking like a lot of people that I mean maybe not a lot, the few that listen to our podcast, a lot of them from up here, have those similar drives, right? We've got families that are making the weekly drive down to be part of the Rock Stars, or they're going to Beast Lacrosse in Brampton, and they're doing those things, but they're getting out of the car after 2.5 hours, 3 hours. I mean, that's already putting them at a disadvantage to every other athlete that's stepping on that floor, regardless of that they're young guys and can like be nimble. Like what would you suggest that they're doing?
We've talked about this before, right? Where it's like, it's kind of the tough part about being up here is that all your games, or your away games, are like the crazy amount of travel that just has to be built in. And even if it's you're limber enough as a little kid to like just deal with that with your body or whatever, but your mind and everything's going to be stimulated the whole time. And it's like, are you going to be tired when you get down there? Like, you're not going to get a good sleep because you're now traveling in a car and all these things. I don't know, man. I wish I knew the answers, but for me, it's I'll show up basically 3 hours before the game and start my warm up, and I could almost push that back to 3.5 hours now. Like, I could use that extra half an hour, just get loose, and then obviously the cool down is important for me. I don't always do it, but I need to do that. That's the evolution. That's the game changer, man. Yeah. That's the one that's going to, like, after the weekend, that's going to allow me to go to practice on Wednesday and not be like super sore going to practice. It's like, it's just the drives.
Yeah.
The drives are tough.
Well, you've only got 2 more nights until you got to make that drive again, and then and then it's a little bit of a travel, but not too far. You got Rochester this week, and they made some changes over the summer break. They brought in a new ownership group, and they brought in a big time player in Zed Williams, and they've come out of the gates and. At least in the first 2 games, looked like they were going to be a team that was going to be a real problem. And not that the third game wasn't, but they sort of a surprise loss to Colorado, where Zed came from. So they obviously maybe had a little something to prove. Statement game. Did you get a chance to watch any of that Rochester-Colorado game?
Yeah, I watched some of it, but I think it's tough to judge teams against Colorado right now. Like, I don't know what's going on with them, but, well, I kind of know what's going on with them. But it's like, didn't they shellac somebody early in the year? And then they lost to like Georgia like 9-3 or something, and now they're beating Rochester. Like, they just seem like they're up and down all the time, and I don't know. Like, it's hard to judge a team on a one-off game. So like with Rochester, I still think they're a force. I still think they're a top contender. I think they're for real. I think their weak spots are out their back end and maybe goaltending. You never know how Hartley's going to play. But that doesn't mean they're a bad team. Like, every team has weak spots. I just think that we're gonna have to pile on some goals and really try to hold. I don't know. I don't know if it's a duo or trio or 4 quad or whatever they are on offense, but they're pretty heavy on offense right now.
Now, I mean, maybe, and it goes back to when you were talking about playing it some familiarity, like them. I mean, with the changes that they've had to play, like maybe almost representing like Albany from a couple of years ago, kind of just playing a little bit of helter-skelter lacrosse and like.
Yeah, they are, but it's different. It's not necessarily like random cuts, like the random like movements. It's Ryan Smith's ability to read plays and get Zed open.
Yeah. Like
Zed getting over top and Zed taking over. Ryan can carry the ball, but he also is really good off ball, right? So like the pick and roll game, the 2-man game they have going over there, and then they have, obviously Fieldsy and then Lanchberry and I'm forgetting 2 other guys, but it's like they're pretty stacked out on the front end. So we have a plan. We'll see how it plays out. On the next podcast, we'll talk about if it worked or not.
Yeah, that's right.
But we do have a plan.
Yeah, so, I mean, they came out, they won 15-7 against the Seals, and then hosted the Wings, a 15-11 game, and then lost to Colorado, who opened up the season.
What about Colorado?
Colorado opened up the season against Vancouver and won. And then
they beat Vancouver, yeah.
Which was a surprise. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
And then they lost to the Wings in that 8-7 game with the goalie fight. Which no one has been able to really tell me why like those guys were angry at each other. But man, that was
I think they fought in the past too.
That was a tussle,
dude.
like
large humans.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Like, and I think again, sort of gives another sort of when they see Ryan Hartley drop those pads and see just like how cut he is and ready to throw some bombs.
Yeah,
like, don't mess around. And then they got smoked by Georgia at home.
And then Pat Coyle basically called out his entire offense, and they traded for Jack Hanna, and then they beat Rochester
18-13. Like, and Hanna, I mean, looks like a pretty nice addition there.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, really good player. And so so now this Saturday, and so I know with the Bills playing on Sunday, maybe that brings a little bit more of the orange and black down the road to Rochester, and on a Saturday night, fill the barn.
We fill it pretty good, I think. Anyways, it's almost like a 50-50 when we go down there, but it's still, I don't know. I have a lot of memories, and even though it's a different team than it was back in like 2012 and 13, it's just that still that same rivalry and that same, like, I don't know. I want to win in that building so badly.
Yeah. And so that's an interesting take, right? Because that happens, I mean, throughout minor lacrosse, you start to play against the same teams and the same players, and you kind of see each other kind of coming on up as you get a little bit older. You get to like U15, U17, right? And then, of course, obviously junior, you become really familiar with each other. But then you have a career that you've had, right? And you see a lot of the transition. You see the Rochesters that were once the three-peat team, right? And then they kind of go through some ownership changes and moving, and they don't exist, and now they exist, and now they've got a new owner, and it looks like it's going to be here for a long, long time. But you go back 12, 13 years, and that's still where you're feeling it.
Dude, there's so many memories I remember, like just everything, especially my first years. Like, it seemed like Cody Jameson and the Nighthawks just knew that arena so well, man. They were doing stuff where, they would have four, so like we would have a power play, but they'd have the ball, so like a 4-on-5 sort of thing, and they would be throwing it off of certain spots on the glass and how it would bounce out in front to like a guy cutting on the backside to get it, and like, wait a minute, like they just knew the arena, man. I just there's so many weird memories, and I don't know, it's and then I'm sure Vino feels the same way. Right. I know sometimes he feels a little bit lost in terms of where his home is. Now it's obviously in Buffalo. He's been here long enough, and we've won so much together that, like, I think he had concerns about that at one point, where it was like Rochester moved to Halifax, but it's the same ownership and the same team that's in Halifax, but he never played for Halifax. He never played for that team in that building. So if he was to retire, would they hang his jersey in that building, or would they hang his jersey in the Nighthawks now? But that's not the team he played for. It's a different Nighthawks team,
right, that
has different ownership and different group, and he never wore that jersey. He never wore those colors. So he's like, I'm not going to get retired by that team. And this was like, we were talking like, this is back in 2020 sort of thing. He's like, right. And then he's like, I've just got to Buffalo sort of thing. And he was like, so I'm really happy he found a home with us and just, spent those extra years sort of playing with us and winning with us. Because now I think in his heart he knows that he's always got this. And whether or not those guys recognize him for his achievements in that building and with that team, but that's besides the point. At least he'll get recognized with us. Yeah,
we'll save that for one of the summer editions of this podcast when we get into that, because that's the business of the sport, and especially when things are growing, right? And guys are trying to do everything right, and they went out to Halifax and they want to take their records and their everything with them, but at the same time, but hey, it's really important to have a team in that market that's important to lacrosse like Rochester.
Yeah,
and, to have the history that surrounds not even just the team, but that region is also really important. And so, Bandit fans, you're going to want to get out and get down the, what is it, the I-98?
It's got to be 90. I-90. I-90. Everything's an I-90 down there.
There you go.
I-90, I-190.
That's right. Saturday night, get yourselves all set up and be ready, because it's going to be what we like to call a slobber knocker.
Oh, boy.
All right, Cap. Thanks so much for this. Great way to kick off 2026. You guys are going to be able to catch us here just about weekly here for the rest of the way, and we're really excited about that. Thanks for listening, and thanks for this, Cap.
Appreciate you, buddy.
All the time.